Aleksandr Dugin, Russian political philosopher, strategist, and author. Aleksandr, good to have you on the program here with us today. The news of Charlie Kirk's murder has really shocked the world. He held outspoken views on issues like LGBTQ+, abortion, religion, and gun rights, but he founded his movement on free speech. Clearly, he had a lot of people who disagreed with what he had to say, but why has debate become the source of such violence? Why can't people just talk to each other and agree to disagree?
So we need to get deeper because in my family and myself personally, I confronted almost the same attitude. I have my daughter, Daria, we had and we have a conservative, traditionalist way of thinking. We think that traditional religion, hierarchy, history, identity, its traditional values are of highest importance. So the killing of, and that is why Daria was murdered, and why they blamed me for so many years, for decades, because of my personal ideas that have nothing to do with fascism. That is totally different kind of no racism, no hatred, no xenophobia, no idea that one people is about the other. Nothing of fascism is in the conservative. The same case with Charlie Kirk, with Donald Trump, with many people of MAGA, Make American Great Again movement. So we are conservatives. We defend traditional values, as now our state, Russia, defends as well traditional values. That is all our crime. We are traditionalists. We are for our roots, for our religious faith. But there is the power on the global level, not only in the United States of America, that thinks that everyone who defends traditional values should be exterminated, eliminated, killed, murdered, so assassinated. That is the radicalization of liberal globalism. They could blame entire country for that without any proof, without any arguments. If someone is called fascist, for example, very mild, very balanced, very moderate conservative as Charlie Kirk, or President Trump, or myself, or other people who believe in God, believe in church, believe in the history, believe in the spirit, in the afterlife, and all that religion says, they are immediately qualified as fascist, as racist, who defend the family, the normality. And on the other side, there are group of people, not just fringe persons, not just marginals. That is the huge system of the world scale system with governments, with educational organizations. They who promote this radical, anti-human, anti-natural point of view that the progress is necessary to abandon our identity, our gender identity, our human identity. That in order to be woke, as they say, we need to abandon national states. We need to turn away from our faith, to transform the family in some perversions. So they try to legitimize all the form of perversions, and everybody who is against that is declared fascist. But what means this word in the West? This word fascist means that you can kill. You can kill fascists. So you can kill President Trump, or you can kill Charlie Kirk, very moderate, very mild person that wanted to start the dialogue. He was very active in MAGA. He was very important. Trump considered himself, Charlie Kirk, as his political son. So that is a kind of beginning of the revolt, the riot of these liberals, of these globalists against all the normal people. And I feel such a pain in the killing, assassination of this Charlie Kirk, this person, because I have suffered the same. So I have lost my daughter for the same accusations. I never was advisor of Mr. Putin, as they claim. I never was fascist. I always was conservative. I have written many books on that, claiming that fascism is very, very bad idea, that we need criticize that. So all my fight is in favor of tradition. The same as Charlie Kirk. He is 1 year younger than Daria. So Daria, my daughter, is now would have 33 years, and Charlie Kirk was killed at 31. So they hit the youth. This globalist killers, this terrorists, they try to hit the best of us. They try to erase the future, but I don't think that they could count on their victory. I think that the rise of the resistance is now evident, including in the West and in the United States of America.
Mr. Dugin, we can see the photo of your beautiful daughter, Daria, behind you, and you have said that forces motivating Charlie Kirk's murder grow out of the same centers that led to the murder of your daughter, Dasha. The prime suspect in the U.S., though, is a 22-year-old. I mean, can you elaborate on who specifically you think is responsible? I mean, what would motivate a 22-year-old to carry out such a horrific act like this?
So that is not just the crime committed by some isolated person, young person. That is the result of the huge campaign of demonization of political opponent. That is quite opposite to any form of democracy. That is purely fascist way of doing. So the generation of young American people is raised now in this perverted vision that you should kill everybody who criticize LGBT prohibited in Russian Federation. You should kill everybody who has any doubt about liberalism, globalization, post-humanism, the end of the family, the mass migration. And what I was very, very deeply depressed by the reaction of many Americans in the network. They were exactly as Ukrainians who laughed when my daughter was killed. So many Ukrainians regarded the killing of my daughter with great joy, and they didn't hide that. The same with the death and this assassination of Charlie Kirk. So that is generation. It is not about one isolated extremist young person. Tyler Robinson. It is quite different thing. It is about generation. That is result of systematic apply of these woke cancel culture, progressivism, left liberal, so-called anti-fascist values, because when liberals say, appoint someone to be fascist, so after that this person is doomed. So there will be always someone who follow this educational strategy and will apply the principles of this anti-human attitude as promoted by Soros, promoted by Karl Popper, open society in its enemy. So that is already in the theory. So this isolated young man, 22 years old, is just the other victim of that. So many people now blame him personally. I think he is as well as victim. So he was a patsy. He was a tool, just instrument, not the real evil doer, because he did exactly that he was taught to do during the decades. So they have occupied the globalists, the liberals, with their terroristic ideology. They have occupied the colleges in the United States, all the educational system, and they call all their opponent, political opponent, whoever they are, fascists, and that's all. That is the end of debates. So that, I think, so we are dealing with that's a very horrible case, not individual terrorist. It is the logical result of the anti-human liberal ideology that was installed in the American society.
We did see some very horrific public reaction to Charlie Kirk's murder. Some commentators on liberal media channels even gleeful over his killing, seeming to justify his views, saying that the killing was justified in many ways. And I know that in reaction to Kirk's murder, you said that, quote, the Democratic Party is America's Ukraine. What similarities do you see there? Because we in fact, do see a lot of support for Ukraine among liberals in America.
So that is, it seems that that is the same mood, I would say, the same ideology. The Ukrainians have Mirotvorets, and Daria was as well put there. Mirotvorets, the site prohibited in Russian Federation. When the people is put there with the name, with the address, so that is the victim to kill, and that was supported by the Western liberals, by Democratic Party. So they promoted and they started this terrorist attitude to kill the opponents. And I think I see the great similarity between the reaction of Ukrainian population over on the death of Daria, and today American liberal influencers, journalists, ideologues on the death assassination of Charlie Kirk. The same attitude. They laugh. They are happy. They say it is good and that is not the end. We will kill everybody else who disagree with us. It is the new form of totalitarianism, and it is difficult to say who was the first to start that. That this anti-human attitude to the innocent people and this total approval of the killing of the innocent. So either that were Ukrainians, because that is their style. We know that for almost 10 years now they hatred toward us, toward all Russians, or that was the artificial hatred, artificial hate prepared and imposed on them by the Western liberals. There is the fact-checking. There is one and the same reaction on the very similar cases. So the brutality, the violence, and the hatred, that is outside, beyond any normal human limits, because if you kill someone on the front line, it's one thing. But when you kill absolutely innocent, open to dialogue person whose crime is to have the ideas you disagree with, it is totally different. So that is some moral breakdown in the society, in American society, in this leftist circles, as well as in Ukrainian society. So there is something wrong with Western society. That is something terrible, because it is not normal. Charlie Kirk, neither Charlie Kirk nor Daria Dugina, they didn't participate in physical war. They never invited to kill their opponents, and they are killed. They are killed because of their opinion. That is the crime of opinion. That is something terrible, something that contradicts to any normal principle of liberalism, but it is so. And I don't understand what is it, but it seems to be a new kind of civil war in the United States, and maybe on the global scale, because there are people who share this so-called Antifa ideology, and basing on that, they are ready to kill, and they don't hide it. So there is the normal people with different opinions, with different point of view, that who can disagree, but they are still in the limit of the normal debates, normal exchange of the opinions. So there is two halves of the humanity.
I want to go back to a point that you made earlier about how you yourself have been labeled a fascist, because this killing of Charlie Kirk comes after Democrats have long been fear-mongering about Republicans, including Donald Trump, calling him fascist. What is the interest exactly behind these strong accusations and this label of fascism?
So, first of all, we shouldn't exclude there are fascists. There are people who recognize themselves to be fascist, and that doesn't mean that they should be immediately killed, but that is one thing. And there are the other people, the absolute majority of people accused to be fascists, who are absolutely not. Who, if they would, they could be, they could declare that, but they declare we are not fascists and so on. But nevertheless, the liberals still continue to stigmatize them with this name, because it is not just form of insult. It is a kind of order to kill, because fascism is considered, and that is just basing on historical phenomenon. It is, we could understand that because we have lost the millions of Russian and millions of Russian people fighting the fascism. So fascism is real. Fascism is real, and to fight fascism is the duty of normal people. But when we see how liberals, how globalists use this label, so that is the order to kill. And when Trump, who is absolutely not fascist, so he is just conservative, pragmatic conservative, is accused of being fascist, that is, you catch the ballot, as was written on the bullet of the that has killed Charlie Kirk. So if you don't love homosexual, you are fascist. You should be killed. Catch it. So that is something terrible, and that is the order to kill, and not just a political name. So that has nothing to do with real ideology of fascism. It is just the form of invitation of the extermination. The same was used by the real Nazis in Germany when they accused someone to be Jew. That meant that the death sentence. So when someone is called fascist without any real proof, without agreement with that, so that is a kind of death sentence against the innocent. So I think that is the form of political extremism. So we had in the history two forms of political totalitarianism: communist totalitarianism, fascist totalitarianism, and now we have third form of totalitarianism, liberal. And when liberals, they used the term fascist as the death sentence that everybody among them could issue. That is the real hatred, hate speech. When you use the term fascist against the person who is not, it should be considered as hate speech.
We do seem to be seeing a pattern of hostility toward Christianity and conservative voices, certainly in Western mainstream media. Why is that? What is it about conservative views that people would find so dangerous?
Because that I think that is very very deep situation. It is not just some case, transitory case. Because the people who defend God, they are fighting for God, because that is verticality, that is spirituality, that is the church, that is tradition. And the liberals and globalists, they really hate God. They hate tradition. They call that essentialism. So if you believe that there is something eternal, something permanent, you are fascist. According to their philosophy, the liberal philosophy, everybody who insists that there is something stable in the being, the God, the tradition, the church, the spirit, they are enemy of open society. They are obstacles to the progress. They should be eliminated. So that is about the fight between God and the devil. So I think that liberal globalism becomes more and more openly satanic. So when we speak about, as our president, about satanic Western civilization, is not just a metaphor. It is not just the way of saying. It's something deeper. I think that today the Western globalist elite, they become really satanic, and they fight the people who believe in God, who believe in family, in tradition, who defend traditional values. They accuse them to be someone, something they are not. For example, extremists, terrorists, killers, but for them, it is enough to destroy them. So that was put in the Black Bible of liberals, so the book of Karl Popper that is called Open Society and Its Enemy. In this book, that is a Black Bible of Soros, it is written, don't wait when the people who disagree with liberalism will come and kill you. Kill them first. So that is absolutely horrible, and that is liberalism. We used to consider liberalism as something very mild, open to discussion, to debate. New liberalism is something different. So new liberalism invite to kill you if you are not liberal. That is totally different definition of this political ideology. And this political ideology, we maybe don't understand that correctly. This political ideology is ruling in the West, among the Western elites, society, education, and MAGA and Trump and conservatives who have now the power in the United States. They represent the other part of the population. They represent alternative, conservative idea. They are not against progress or liberals, but they defend the right to believe in God, to have this the safe society, to have the family, to be normal, to have two gender, to defend traditional value. They don't attack, they defend. They are not on offensive, they are on defensive. But nevertheless, they now exterminated. So I think that is we see now explosion of the normality in the Western society, because the Charlie Kirk has called his movement, his platform, turning point of United States of America. The turning point means stop that. Stop this liberal terror. Stop this totalitarianism. Let return. Let come back to the normality, to the traditional value. Let defend something, including that you disagree with. Let defend the right or rights of speech, of opinion, of religion. All that is cancelled now in this totalitarian liberal system of the West.
Looking more broadly, do you see Charlie Kirk's murder as part of a trend of political assassinations and attacks on public figures in the U.S. and also worldwide?
Obviously, he is not the only one. That is the last. But if we consider what was done to Donald Trump during his campaign, there was the killer who tried to shoot him. So that is the part. And if we hear what the people, the liberals in the network, what they say, they affirm, they are very, they have joy about assassination of Charlie Kirk, and they promise to do more assassination, to kill Donald Trump, to kill his family, to kill Elon Musk, to kill all the supporters of Make America Great Again. That is the invitation, the claim to start the civil war. And I think that is so. That now we see against whom we are fighting on the global scale, against whom the conservatives fight, including Ukraine. And our battlefield there becomes more and more clearer, I think, now before in front of us. So we are fighting against this world, against this terrible globalist liberal double standard hegemony. So I think that and that provokes resistance now, and the people becomes now they understand what is going on. They become more and more awakened, I would say, because there are so many people from Democrat Party, so many people from ex-liberals now who are converting into Republicans and to conservatism because they understand that that such deeds as the killing of innocent person who just his only weapon was micro. He did never participated in the battlefield. Charlie Kirk, that is innocent victim. So it is too much. And many people, I think, will get out from this liberal camp. Only radical extremists could still continue that line. And I think there will be some reaction on the top level of the United States of America. There should be something.
All right. Aleksandr Dugin, Russian political philosopher, strategist, and author. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.